Hello friends, welcome to another episode of Dan Tremblay Music. Some of you who are watching this channel are maybe new to music production or newer to using samples, or maybe been doing it for a little while, and maybe you're looking for some advice on which sample libraries to start with. I wish that I had that when I started. Actually, I did. I had Jake Jones, who was super helpful. Hoping to have Jake Jones in one of my interview artist profile sessions soon. Jake is just a fantastic producer from here in Ottawa, Canada. Just one of those wise gurus. Anytime I have any questions about anything, Jake is the go-to guy. So what I'm going to do today is break down my top 5 go-to sample libraries. These are not the 5 best sample libraries, the greatest ones. They are not the newest ones. They're the ones that I feel are the most useful for creating the type of music that I create, which is a blend of cinematic and, atmospheric, ambient, as well as some singer-songwriter stuff. That's what I do. So I want, as I'm sure you want, the best bang for your buck. What sample libraries can I spend my money on to get the results that I want to get? So today, that's what we're going to do. Let's get right to it. Kicking off at number 1, we have Spectrasonic's Omnisphere. Omnisphere has been around for years. It's been around for a long time. I'm not even sure how old this product is now. But man, it's as good as it's ever been. It's as useful as it's ever been. Just yesterday, Spectrasonics announced sonic extensions for Omnisphere, which sound amazing. So this is additional content that you can open from within Omnisphere. And it sounds really good. There's one particular, I think it's called Undercurrent. Sounds really good for this type of music that we're making. The amount of sounds and the amount of functionality and the amount of ways that you can manipulate sounds within Omnisphere is just obscene. Yes, it's like $600 or something like that, but man, do you get your money's worth. Omnisphere is all over every project that I ever do. It's as good as it's ever been. I feel like we're still going to be talking about it in 20 years from now. It's just that good. It's absurd how good it is. It still sounds fresh. It still sounds new. And, with all the extensions and the fact that they're still investing in this product, I feel like it's just going to be around forever. So it is so versatile. Yes, it's expensive, but I just feel like there's so much you can do with it. I feel like I've probably utilized 5% of the library, and I've gotten incredible results. God knows if I spend more time and check out the other 95%, what I can do with it. You can create your own sounds. You can import audio and create pads, and then manipulate it with all the different controls and effects, and the arpeggiator effect, the orb, which I never use, but it's really fun. Got the orb that's dancing around. Anyway, endless possibilities. 2, if you've been watching this channel, you know that I'm a huge, massive, colossal fan of Spitfire Audio. Do I think that they are the greatest sample library company? Yes, I do. I'm not affiliated with them in any way. I don't work for them. I just love their products. I think that the sounds are just groundbreaking. The stuff that they're doing is groundbreaking. I think Christian Hansen is a genius. I really do. I think he's a pioneer. I love his channel. I love what he does. I love what Spitfire Audio does. So Albion 1, that is their flagship library. It was originally put out as a legacy edition and then replaced with the Albion 1. Again, so versatile. So you're not going to get individual instruments, but you're going to get sections of strings and section of brass. There's some Darwin percussion in there for the thunderous percussion. The octave lows I use all the time. You can get that really big sound really quickly with Albion 1. Again, extremely versatile. So, of course, I love all the Spitfire audio libraries, but if there's one that I would say this is the one to start with, Albion 1 is the one to get. Number 3, there are just an obscene amount of piano libraries out there, just an obscene amount. I have many. You can argue that this one's the best one, or that one's the best one, or this is the most deeply sampled, or that. You know, there's just an endless amount of libraries. I do not have the Hans Zimmer piano library collection. I think because I looked at it and I said, this is just serious overkill. It's too much. 230 gigabytes of piano sounds and a gazillion microphones. Do we really need that much? Probably not. Would it be fun to have? Yeah, I'm sure it probably sounds fantastic. But for me, I don't need it. So I went with a bunch of piano sounds from Native Instruments. I started off with Una Corda, which was recommended to me by Josh Leake, fantastic ambient composer who I've interviewed on this channel and I talk about all the time. Una Corda is a really interesting and unique instrument, and it's great for sound design and that sort of thing. And I loved it, and it was my go-to library until Native Instruments put out Noir Piano. Noir Piano to me is just unbelievable. Every time that I'm using this library, I'm just infatuated with it. And again, extremely versatile. You can use it as just a felt piano and get that beautiful soft sound, or you can manipulate it with the particles engine and get rhythmic tracks going on. You can get some kind of low thunderous sounds out of it, you know, and you get out of all within the effects within the library are just incredible, you know, and I think that's what Native is so good at, the way that they let you manipulate the sounds within the libraries themselves. So Noir Piano, if there was one go-to piano, that absolutely would be the one that I would go to, which leads me to number 4, Guitar Rig 6. Now, I'm not a guitar player, but I love to dabble in guitar, and I love to include guitar tracks in my productions whenever possible. I've talked a lot about that in this channel, about how it's really hard to get the finger slides sounds through guitar libraries. And at the end of the day, it's just not as fun as dusting off the old axe, plugging it in, and checking out just the wealth of sounds that Guitar Rig 6 has to offer. I think it's an incredible library. Again, extremely versatile. You can also use it as a multi-effects plugin unit with other sounds that you might have. So for instance, you could take, and I've done this and it sounds amazing, you could take something like Spitfire Labs Peel Guitar, which is free, and you can run it through the effects through Guitar Rig 6 and create some amazing things. So you still get the initial sound of an actual guitar sample, and then you have it played through the effects through Guitar Rig 6. So it's not only, it's called Guitar Rig, but it doesn't only have to be used with guitar. You could use it with any instrument, and just the effects within the library themselves are amazing. It's got a nice, clean, updated interface. It's just so easy to just throw it on, load her up, and get things going. The presets sound amazing. Again, I think extremely versatile. There's a million guitar libraries. I'm sure that they all have their uses, but Guitar Rig 6 to me is just, it just sounds amazing out of the box straight away, and that's what I'm always looking for. I don't want libraries that I have to tweak endlessly to get some kind of good sound out of. I want something that sounds really good straight out of the box. Guitar Rig 6 delivers every time, which leads me to number 5, which is Native Instruments Battery. I think it's old. I think, again, it's been around for a long time, but the sounds that are included with the library, and again, the number of ways that you can manipulate those sounds within the library. Again, make it extremely, exceptionally versatile. It makes its way into every single one of my projects. I am going to say this just as a little caveat and just like a little bonus tip here. If there's beginners out there, you could not get any of these libraries and you could start with Logic Pro. And that would probably be the first place that I would go. You could start with GarageBand and then work your way up into Logic Pro. Now, are the sounds that are included within Logic Pro as good as all of the ones that I've talked about? Yes and no. Okay, so let me clarify. Logic Pro is an extremely versatile application, and the included content is better than I think a lot of people realize that it is. If you can't start with just Logic and use the sounds within Logic Pro and create something that sounds good, then don't buy any more sample libraries. You should be able to go into Logic Pro, and maybe this is a video I should do in the future. You should be able to get really good sounds straight out of the box, manipulate those sounds, and create something cohesive and interesting using only the stock sounds within Logic Pro. You've got pads in there. The strings, yeah, of course, nowhere near as good as Spitfire audio, but I know big name artists that have used these sounds and they pulled it off. So don't write it off. You never know. The piano, they get the Steinway Grand. Is it an amazing piano? No. However, you can manipulate that sound, you can EQ it, you can mess around with it, and you can probably create something that sounds pretty good. So don't exclude Logic Pro. The guitar sounds in there, guitar emulators, they've gotten better and better and better. Are they as good as Guitar Rig 6? No. However, if you're just starting out and you want to check out and get some good sounds, again, if you can't get something sounding good out of Logic Pro and the presets, don't buy any other sample libraries. And lastly, as an alternative to Battery 4, within Logic Pro, you have Drum Machine Designer. I haven't had a chance really to mess around with it and play with it. However, I do know that there are some huge big name producers who have switched over from Battery 4 to Logic Drum Machine Designer, namely Phineas, okay? Arguably the #1 producer in the world right now of popular music. So if it's good for Phineas, I think probably the rest of us can probably figure it out. So can you get a long ways from Logic Pro just on its own? Absolutely. If you can't make something sound good, this is a challenge. This is a challenge to anybody out there who maybe just has Logic Pro and it's like, I want to buy a whole bunch of sample libraries. Come up with something really good from Logic Pro. Maybe I'll do it too. I'll create a track only using Logic Pro stock plugins, nothing else. And let's make something good. Let's prove that it can be done. Let's prove that it's not the tools, but it's the way that we use the tools. That being said, I've already bought all these sample libraries. I love them. I'm used to them. And all 5 that I've mentioned, you're going to get your money's worth. And I know some of these have been around for a while, and you might think that why are we investing in older libraries? Because they're fantastic. They've stood the test of time. Noir Piano and Guitar Rig 6 are relatively new. The other ones, the other 3 that I've mentioned are old, quite a bit old, several years old, as good as they've ever been. Check out the sonic extensions from Spectrasonic's Omnisphere. I'll probably be looking into those in the near future. I'd rather, invest in libraries that I already have with extension packs, expansion packs, because I know how good those libraries already are. So that's it, my friends. Get creating. Don't let the lack of samples that you've collected hold you back from creating. Make your own samples. Sample your own stuff. Create your own sounds. But just create and do something interesting and have fun. That's it, my friends. Stay safe. Catch you in the next one.